Hey everybody, I thought I would take a minute and try to articulate some concepts that I'm kind of just summarizing for myself, and if anybody else enjoys it, that's cool too. I have been getting really deeper within when it comes to whatever is just around the river bend with all of these energies exciting. We're hearing a lot about ascension, we're hearing a lot about ET contact. There's a lot of cosmic excitement. Everybody's upgrading, turning on abilities. I'm going deeper. I'm having purging, crying. I'm having releasing, things turning on, all the good stuff. Um, and I have found a teacher that is really resonating with me at this time, that has been imparting a lot of wisdom that I have been able to integrate and digest. And I am looking forward to so much more interaction with them and whatever is, ripe and aligned. Um, their name is George Kavasilis. If you've never heard of George Kavasilis, I highly recommend you listening to George Kavasilis if you are resonating to all of everything. So there seems to be around the corner five pathways that us beings, us Homo luminous beings, but they call us Homo sapien, all that jazz. Um, there seems to be five options that are coming that humans will more or less choose, and this is not like there's going to be a survey and you check a box and that's yours. It's going to be more like a path of evolution that we align our actions with, and who knows how fast or slow the process is. I think it's a different rate for everybody. But regardless, let's see if I can give the gist of it. So, one is the people that want to keep their head in the sand and not see anything. If the ETs show up and someone just wants to say, this isn't real, etc., just like, no, 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 that's not going to be able to happen for too long. There's going to be too many things in personal lives and awakening moments that kind of crack open everybody to see a little bit more of the truth. So it's going to be really hard to do the ostrich with your head routine over the next 3 years, and especially the next decade. You might just, whoever can't, if you put your head underground too long, you will suffocate. So you might pass out of the experience. Another possibility is technology is trying to amp up. Technology wants to show you that it can do anything, you can do better. And so it's going to try and seduce us into all of its little things, virtual realities and just the way to give our attention and energy and devotion and plug in, almost like the Matrix, like live in another world. So that's an option. Gross. To me, anyway. And then we have this is a weird one. So, to the extent that people are really in the thick of religious indoctrinations, if there's a God being that you have been very devoted to praising, that God being and all of their angels, you may get the rapture. You may get them to come back. There may be a luminous being that decides that they are here to save you, my child. You've been, such a good devotee, and you have overcome so much of your sin, and you are ready to rapture and go home or whatever. The God being and its emissaries may provide that option for those that would like that. However, the more that I'm getting into what the nature of the universe is, the God being and all of its favorite helpers is not the be all end all. It is just at a level of the bubble that is bigger than what we are currently tuned into. And so anybody that feels small and feels less than and feels subservient and feels like a sinner and feels like they need saving, anybody in that pool will get that experience. They've been asking for it for their whole life, and they might just get it. Might just get it. So we'll see, and that's weird, I know, and we'll see how people feel about that. The other one is the star beings. The star beings, your ET family. Your family would probably be pretty cool, and I do want to talk to the ET beings, but we need to be careful that we don't put them on a pedestal, because I could see quite a lot of ET beings showing up and selling us a narrative of you guys are just not as high up as we are, and your planet has been a prison planet, and we're here to help you. We need to help you grow, because you're just doing it wrong. Yeah, we're doing it so wrong because we've been so poisoned in all these different levels. But anyway, there may be a sales pitch of we're going to bring you into the galactic community, and then we have an opportunity to go up with our favorite group of whoever's agenda we subscribe to, and we will get to play Star Wars essentially. Get back on the ships and zoom around and see all the stuff. And I'll be honest, like I want to do some zooming around on some UFOs and stuff too still. And I do want to interact with the ETs, but there is the possibility that some of these agendas could be the sort that want us to be with them so that they can study us. And there could be lots of flattery and all sorts of things that are glamorous that kind of just distract us. I see the Star Wars thing kind of piddling out after a while. We're getting boring because we've already done it before and it doesn't get us closer to what we've done. But if you need a little respite and healing and something fun, maybe that could be a something. But I do feel like it is more of a passive distraction. I don't think that in all cases it's necessarily bad. In some of them it could be. They might want to study you a little deeper than you want to be studied. But in some cases they just want to bring us into their exopolitical agendas in some way. And we can decide how much we want to entertain those realms of conflict and the various, games and shenanigans of Star Wars. Battling it out there, and whose team we want to support with our, unique genetics or whatever. So there's something there that we need to be discerning about, because there is a fifth option. And the fifth option is the one that seems the most aligned and resonant to me, which is the idea of integration, the dark and the light integrating into one and going deeper within. There's something about the heart essence within that is just been veiled or blocked or something distracted various things to keep us going within, so that we'll keep going out there to look for answers. And there's just a sexy barrage of distractions. Even once you get through all the religious doctrinizations and you're like, ooh, I found the New Age and I've got the chakras and the third eye and I'm gonna raise the Kundalini. That's also starting to seem like a glass ceiling, and that's really hard for me to say because I've been ooh la la about that for quite a long time, but it seems like a distraction. It gets you some of the something conscious, but it's like, how well can you climb the ladder up? So all of the up-down hierarchical things about raise the vibration and ascend up, and we're going to go up. Upgrade, all of these things are languaged in a way that keeps us in a hierarchical model. There's a less than, there's an inferiority, where it seems like the truth of everything is more of an omnipresent immersion in all that is truth, and it's tuning into that truth within us and that infinite and eternal capacity that's really where the gold mine is for our solar being. And so there's something about trying to raise the vibrations too much that's distracting. It's getting this really great, and there's some cosmic candy and stuff to really have a good time with and bliss out on, perhaps. But there could be something to that process that is also distracting. And so there's something about the integration and going deeper within that's really accessing who we are. And so it's a model different, and it's got a slight twist, because when you have a hierarchical structure, something is up at the top, and so something has to be down at the bottom, and we have judgments about that. There's something, it's a little bit easier to think of it concentric, just like all spheres, the earth we live on, the sun, everything seems pretty spherical, and so it's concentric. And what we're calling the higher realms are the inner realms, where it's like just straight up the bam of light, the core, where it's undifferentiated. And then the further out you go, all those rays of light experience more range of separation or seeming separation. And so there's more density out on the edge, like the crust on the outer edge. And we kind of are on the crust, where everything's pretty in the thick of it. And so that is a different way to look at it, in that we can go within to these higher realms and dimensions. They're inner, and there's a lot of fluctuation in there, and it takes a lot of discernment. And these beings, therefore, whether they are ET, whether they are angelic, whether they are ascended masters, we all need to have the conversations in a way that establishes our sovereignty in a harmonious communion with them. And we need to tune into some of the consciousnesses that have been forgotten, like who the earth is, who the sun is, who these beings are, in that scale, with also without putting things on this pedestal of praise, and being able to talk and commune in a way that establishes a harmonic resonance of equality in a sense, but it's harmony. And so there's just as much for us to learn from other as there is for other to learn from self. And so we just don't want to forget ourself, which gets harder the further away you get from this light core. So we're out here on the thick of it, in this process of integrating everything that we've gone through from the inner core as we have expanded and compressed outward. And if we can homo luminous things, there seems to be the potential to activate that solar being of our true nature in a way that could be quite brilliant, in a sense, and allow us more free range liberation to just from everything within ourselves. It's like the kingdom of God is within. There's so much truth that's been muddled with layers of stories, and but anyway, there's something that we can access within, that will allow all the same properties that the cosmic candy and technology is able to do. We just need to see what agendas are coming through with love, honor, and respect in the natural way of love and light, versus the other ones that might have a few dark corners themselves. And again, this is an evolutionary process, so we've got lots of time and opportunity to play with everything, although it does seem like we'll get a quick flash forward, this year, next year, the year after, and then, through this next decade. We're in quite a flashing time. So have fun with it. Don't get overly glamorized by anything that sparkles or shines without checking it in here and giving it a good scan for how it really resonates. And we will all soon see together how things unfold, what pictures and images come forward, and then how we choose to resonate with them.